Stop me now, I'm on a roll. Every mountain I will climb, yeah, this is my time. See the doubt in their eyes bright, fuel the need to reach new heights. Barriers breaking with my might, sky above within my sight. This is my determination, nothing can hold my fascination. Watch me rise in pure elation, breaking free is my salvation. Won't make me fall. I'll face the storm, I'll take it all. Every scar's a battle's call. I'm standing 10 feet tall. Hear the roar of my heartbeat, feel the ground beneath my feet. Victory's just within reach, and I'm steady on my beat. This is my determination, nothing can hold my fascination. Watch me rise in pure elation, breaking free is my salvation. Stumbling blocks won't make me fall. I'll face the storm, I'll take it all. Every scar's a battle's call. I'm standing 10 feet tall. Hear the roar of my heartbeat, feel the ground beneath my feet. Victory's just within reach, and I'm steady on my beat. This is my determination, nothing can hold my fascination. Watch me rise in pure elation, breaking free is my salvation. I've walked the fire, I faced the rain. Through fields of sorrow, I hide my pain. With bruised knuckles and a heart so torn, I stand my ground, my will reborn. I've danced with shadows, I've wrestled fear. In darkened alleyways, whispered near. My soul a warrior, my spirit tough. The road is hard, but I'm enough. We fight the long struggle, never back down. With blood and sweat, we claim our ground. Through stormy nights and endless days, we write our truth in bold displays. I've seen the vultures, they circle high, but they won't steal my will to fly. I rise from ashes again anew. With every step, my purpose true. When hope seems distant and dreams decay, I push through darkness, find my way. In every heartbeat, I hear the call. Stand tall, stand proud, and never fall. We fight the long struggle, never back down. With blood and sweat, we claim our ground. Through stormy nights and endless days, we write our truth in bold displays. We fight the long struggle, never back down. With blood and sweat, we claim our ground. Through stormy nights and endless days, we write our truth in bold displays. Fresh velvet sky. lost in the whispers of the wind. With you I'm whole, my heart racing. We dance on clouds like endless dreams, catch starlight in our midnight schemes. Your hand in mine, a timeless tune, beneath the symphony of June. Moments with you, a treasure sealed, in every glance our fate revealed. With every heartbeat, time stands still. In moments with you, I find my will. Guitar strings hum our secret song, in your embrace where I belong. Eyes that speak the words we say, journey through love, the path we pave. Through storms and rain we brave the night, our love a beacon burning bright. We paint the dawn with shades anew. In moments with you, skies turn blue. Moments with you, a treasure sealed, in every glance our fate revealed. With every heartbeat, time stands still. In moments with you, I find my will. Moments with you, a treasure sealed, in every glance our fate revealed. With every heartbeat, time stands still. In moments with you, I find my will. I wrote your name on the mirror, yeah. Faded ink says it's still there. Thought we'd walk forever side by side. Now it's only empty nights. Your sweatshirt still hangs loose. Feels like a ghost just telling the truth. Memories dance like shadows in the rain, leaving me playing this endless game. Oh, I hope you come back around. Pick up the pieces from the ground. We were shining like a midnight star. Only whispers fill the space you left. Empty echoes from the words you said. Haunting dreams of promises unkept. Fractured moments replay in my mind. Searching corners for your hand to find. Your laughter lingers like a gentle breeze, but now I'm left with only memories. Do not leave me in this empty room. Your absence turns my light to gloom. Every whisper calls your name. Without you nothing feels the same. Footsteps vanish where you used to walk. Every corner holds a ghost we talked. Photographs now just paper fades. In the silence lost voice degrades. Fractured moments replay in my mind. Searching corners for your hand to find. Your laughter lingers like a gentle breeze, but now I'm left with only memories. Do not leave me in this empty room. Your absence turns my light to gloom. Every whisper calls your name, but now I'm left with only memories. Do not leave me in this empty room. Your absence turns my light to gloom. Your absence turns my light to gloom. And now I'm left with only memories. Do not leave me in this empty room. Your absence turns my light to gloom. Every whisper calls your name, but now I'm left with only memories. Footsteps vanish where you used to walk. Every corner holds a ghost we talked. Photographs now just paper fades. In the silence those voice degrades. Shadows whisper secrets in the night. Echoes of our love fade out of sight. Your voice, a distant memory in the wind. The tears that never dry. We're just strangers passing by, separated forever. Why? Broken hearts and empty skies, lonely tears that never dry. We're just strangers passing by, separated forever. Why? Neon lights pulse wide, shadows dance collide. We're lost in sound, feet off the ground. Bass drops us high, stars light the sky. Rhythms in sync, no time to think. Infinite echoes, we won't let go. Through the night we flow, endless as we go. Something fast, moments here won't last. Feel the power rise in these glowing eyes. Infinite echoes, we won't let go. Through the night we flow, endless as we go. Heartbeat thumping fast, moments here won't last. Feel the power glowing eyes. Infinite echoes, we won't let go. Through the night we flow, endless as we go. Shattered dreams repair in this vibrant air. Find our way through light, reignite and light.
Baby, I need your touch, unforgettable kisses. Your love's never too much, that's why I want all of the pieces. We lose control, no one sees that. Baby, tell me what it's like being perfectly bad. Tell me how it tastes goodbye when she's leaving you first, babe. But I know you know it, I know you know it, babe. Nothing hurts like love, nothing hurts like, nothing hurts like love. Nothing hurts like love, nothing hurts like, nothing hurts like love. Touch, unforgettable kisses. Your love's never too much, that's why I want all of the pieces. We lose control, no one sees that. Baby, tell me what it's like being perfectly balanced. Tell me how it tastes goodbye when she's leaving you suspect. But I know you know it, I know you know it, babe. Nothing hurts like love, nothing hurts like, nothing hurts like love. Nothing hurts like love, nothing hurts like, nothing hurts like love.
Woke up to the sunshine, you're the first I see. In this crazy world, you're the one for me. Through the highs and lows, you're always by my side. With you every day's a roller coaster ride. Turn the music up, let's dance in the light. With you my friend, everything feels right. No one else compares, you're my perfect blend. In this life, you're my best friend. You're my best friend, my ride or die. In every moment, you make me feel alive. Laughing through the day, dancing through the night. With you everything's alright. From the city streets to the open skies, everywhere we go, we're the perfect vibe. Sharing dreams and secrets, laughter and the tears. With you my friend, I've got no fears. Turn the music up, let's dance in the light. With you my friend, everything feels right. No one else compares, you're my perfect blend. In this life, you're my best friend. You're my best friend, my ride or die. In every moment, you make me feel alive. Laughing through the day, dancing through the night. With you everything's alright. We've got that magic, we've got that spark. Together we shine brighter than the stars. In this dance of life, we're hand in hand. With you I always understand. You're my best friend, my ride or die. In every moment, you make me feel alive. Laughing through the day, dancing through the night. With you everything's alright. You're my best friend, my closest star. No matter where we go, no matter how far. In this crazy world, you're my perfect blend.